This Pisces new moon is going to be the culmination of a process that you've been on all year, of diving deep into the emotional realms of your soul, in discovery of your authentic self, what you've been presenting to the world, what you want to be presenting to the world, what needs to shift and change. Who are you now after these events, processes, relationships that have been going on all year? In the pre-shuffle, you got this beautiful consciousness card, and you're really beginning to face yourself. And perhaps there have been times this year where you've really had to face some shadow aspects, go into some of the more darker places of, who you are, where you come from, how you got where you are, what your influences have been, going over choices you've made, looking at your choices and evaluating why you made the choices you made at the time, what you would have done differently, and learning how you can move on. This has been a very deep process, and with the Pisces full moon, we're coming to the end of the astrological year. Next month will be an Aries new moon, and it's the spring. It'll be the spring equinox. It'll be the time of blooming and refresh, but there's still this small bit of the journey left right now. And I think it's about appreciating who you are, really looking at yourself and integrating all the parts of yourself, perhaps even the ones that you don't like, and recognition that we are a whole person and we can't escape the parts of ourselves that we wish to improve upon. And it's to be gentle with ourselves, compassionate with ourselves, accepting of ourselves as we look deeply into our own souls. If you look closely, there's this, what looks like a portal. And you're ready for this fresh start, like it's imminent. It's upon you, imminent. But before you completely give yourself over, take the leap, take the risk, jump completely into the authenticity, into the new, it really is about touching base with who you are bringing into this next part of your life. And it's not about making all of these huge changes where your life is unrecognizable and you're unrecognizable. It's this energetic where the people around you, they're not really going to quite understand. Some of them might think you've changed your look. They're going to wonder, have you been on a vacation? Have you gotten more rest? But really, this is about being able to connect to your higher self on a more regular basis. I think you've been on a journey where you've been learning more and more every day how to connect to that higher self, how to connect to the wisdom of the body and tapping into the inner knowing that you have, that deep intuition. I'm Kristen. Welcome to my channel, In the Good. We'll go a little bit deeper with tarot. This is so perfect for a Pisces new moon. To be in your feelings, to be in your emotions, and to allow your body to feel your feelings and your emotions. So they're not just trapped up in your mind. A part of this message is about how do we treat ourselves? How do we talk to ourselves? How can we get real with taking responsibility? For the choices, but for taking responsibility not only for what you don't like, but for what you do like. Take responsibility for the fact that you have allowed yourself to be in this process, that you, I'm sure at some point had this moment of surrender that it was like, you know, I can't do this anymore, or I need to feel my feelings through this. I can't ignore how I'm feeling. I can't ignore how this person, this situation, this environment is making me feel. I can't ignore that these things are bringing out a part of myself that I don't want to look at, or they're bringing out aspects of my personality that I don't like or I don't want to see on a daily basis. This could be about how can I make my environments, my relationships work for me. And I think it's about being deeply personal with yourself and again, how you speak to yourself. Being intimate with yourself, getting clear. Because if you're not clear within, then you can't be clear without. And it's about taking the risk to share with yourself, knowing that then it'll be much easier to share with others. To be intimate with your friends, really show them who you are in this process of learning and knowing where you feel safe and trusting your inner knowing and your personal guidance system. Who can you allow into the inner sanctum? Who can you get private with? And there are levels, because there are some people that you bring in a certain amount of privacy, but you don't let them all the way in to the core of that inner sanctum. There's a boundary there. It takes time to get to know people, and you should never feel rushed by anybody to reveal yourself too soon. But on the other hand, it's important to love yourself enough, to appreciate yourself enough to know that who you are is enough always. Maybe someone stole from you. They stole perhaps an idea or an opportunity and left you with less choice, or what is perceived as less choice. Perhaps there was, an injustice in the way that you were spoken to. And then that pattern got engraved into that, became a neural pathway, and then you began to speak to yourself in that harsh way. It's like, somebody says something to you as a child, it could be, or even just a few years ago, like, well, you can't do that, or you're never going to have that, or that's not, in our family, we don't get that. And then that's how you spoke to yourself. And perhaps for a long time, you allowed people into the inner sanctum that also spoke this way to you because that's all you knew. And in this period of time, in this new moon cycle in Pisces, it's about allowing yourself to really feel into where you feel nurtured in the world? Where is there reciprocity? Where is there equal give and take? Where is there, sometimes I give, sometimes you give, sometimes it's a little bit of both, you know, where it's not like the one friend who calls you every single time and like goes on in a monologue about their life and about their stuff, and you can't get a word in edgewise. You're trying to get off the phone with you and you can't, because it's just sort of like this insane sort of word salad of their stuff, and you know, you don't want to be that person for them anymore. And feeling underappreciated, like to even share your successes, it's sort of like they can't even appreciate it or see it. Having the courage to resist the temptation that you have to put up with certain things or a certain attitude. I had an experience with a friend not over the last number of years where it was sort of like that. And she was going through a lot, and at some point you're like, okay, I can be there and I can hold this space for this person and I can do that. And then it just becomes a burden. And it becomes like a waste of your time. You're like, well, that was an hour of my life I'll never get back. I mean, this could be in the workspace, this could be with family, any kind of relationship. And I had to take a step back to the point where I was like, well, you know, maybe I'm just not going to speak to this person anymore. And in my case, the stepping back allowed there to be a bit of a purge. And we were able to come back together after a period of time and be in more reciprocity. So you may have to do that with a relationship in your life. And for some of you, you may take that step back and it doesn't shift or change. And that's okay. It could be upsetting or challenging that something has shifted in a relationship, a situation that perhaps was very important to you at one point. But in recognition that it's like an energy vampire. And sometimes energy vampires, they don't like present themselves as these horrible, terrible people in your life and it's all dark. And some of them are people, again, that we know, that we've loved, that we've had a different relationship with in the past, and that has shifted. And sometimes it's just when other people are not willing to look at themselves, that's not our concern. It's not our job to usher someone through their own personal journey. We can be there, we can give some guidance, we could give some advice. And as it feels your boundaries are not being crossed, to give as much as you can. But a person can only ever do their own work, you know, in the end. And you can only do your own work in the end. So perhaps you were at a point over the last year where maybe you were a little bit needy and you were that person. I mean, we've all done it, every single one of us. There's nothing to be ashamed of or, you know, to completely get yourself down upon, but it is our responsibility to look at it and take ownership of it. Something that I think is important to note is, you know, sometimes we cross people's boundaries and we don't even really know it. We're just expressing something. But there's also the side to it where people allow us to cross their boundaries. They don't stand up for themselves and say, this is too much for me. I need to have a talk with you. Or, you know, perhaps you need to go see a therapist, or you need to talk to your husband or wife about that, or you need to you need to go to your boss, or you need to get some support. This is too much for me. It's not. If someone doesn't do that, so it's twofold, and I want to really express that, and I really want to put that out there, that sometimes in our time of need, we will do that. And I think it takes a really intimate relationship and a really strong relationship, whatever the relationship is in any area of your life, for people to really be honest with each other and have the fearlessness and have the courage to know that everything is going to be okay. That although feelings might get hurt, people's nervous systems may get activated, that I'm saying this to you because I love you. You're saying this because I love you. I'm taking a step back and taking space because I love you, and I'm trying to not put myself in a position where I'm going to feel like my boundaries are crossed. So perhaps someone has put a mirror up to you lately and told you that. And it hasn't really landed for you. I think it's been rapid fire spiritual lessons, rapid fire self-awareness lessons, rapid fire life lessons. And again, it's about really taking this moment before we hit the spring to integrate and to take time and to go into your own inner sanctum. Because there's something that you're ready to let go of, that you are ready to walk away from. You've been on this journey. You have been very fearless in a lot of ways. You've been following the guidance of the moon, of the mother energy. I think for many of you, you've been accepting that self-responsibility piece that's like, I am my own mother now, regardless of what your relationship with your actual mother is. It's like, I'm my own mother. I give to myself. I can go back and I can ask my younger selves, what did you need? How can I give that to you now? And when you walk away from things, when it's time to go, it's not like you're necessarily like leaving every bit of your life behind. You're taking with you what works and all the lessons. But this card is also very much a card of moving forward. Like, where are you walking into? Where are you taking all this wisdom and knowledge and gifts and connection to the higher self? Where are you taking that to? And maybe you don't know altogether right now, and that's okay. Can you be in a space where the not knowing doesn't cause anxiety? Can you take whatever feelings are coming up that might feel like resistance or stress and try to recognize that it's the same energy as excitement and passion? And even if that's hard to grab onto, to at least just touch a little bit that place of, this could be the start of something really wonderful. This could be exciting. This could be good. This could be what I've been moving towards my whole life. Every single thing I've ever been through, every part of myself is absolutely needed in this next place where I'm going. Because it's about offering yourself the cup first. There's something that you've always had a love for. There's something that you've always wanted. It's been with you your whole life. And perhaps it's been developed somewhat, or aspects to it may have it even be very developed, but there's something missing. There's something that you're not giving to yourself. And in approaching this new start, this new opportunity, it's to allow yourself to be in touch with the I don't know everything yet. You know, the page I don't know everything yet, and that's okay. You're standing on firm ground. You're standing on, the self that you have rooted from hard work, from this journey that you've been on. And you want to deep dive into that ocean of creativity. But you need to unstick yourself, and that's what you're in the process of doing. It's no longer the time to wait. It's no longer the time to overanalyze. It's no longer the time to feel like, well, when I get this next healing part done, when I've cleared this out. You've done what you need to for now to move forward boldly, to spring with the spring. Because we are always going to go through these processes. We're always going to be in a reevaluation. We're always going to be moving forward. We're always going to be walking away, walking towards something new. I think it's human to always want more. So don't have to worry about that. All you need to know is right now, you're ready to take a risk. You're ready to jump. You have everything that it takes, and you're enough. Happy full moon in Pisces. Please give me a thumbs up. It would mean the world to me. And if you're so called, I would love it if you would subscribe. It would be lovely to connect with you more. And I hope to see you again very soon. Bye.